Welcome to week 4 and 5 of our tracking series. This section of tracking is going to require the most patience, but you are going to learn so much about your dog going through this section. Now, let's get down to business. We are back. I am Tracker Mike with Michigan Deer Tracking Hounds. This week we are going to talk about everything that has to do with turns. This section is actually going to cover about 2 weeks of time, maybe a little more, maybe a little less, depending on how your dog does with it. But you are definitely going to learn more about your dog in this section than in any other section that we do. This video is going to be a little bit longer than our other videos, but there is a ton of information in here that we need to cover. So I would definitely recommend that you watch this whole video all the way through. Just like in the previous weeks, we are going to start out by making a scent pad by rubbing our hooves on the ground, and then we're going to go ahead and strap our shoes on and get to rolling. If you are just finding this segment of our series, I would suggest that you go backwards and that you start from the beginning. Each section builds on the previous section, and you need to develop the skills from the previous section to adequately move into this section. We are going to start out again by making very, very small footsteps, and then we will gradually increase our step size at the start of the track, maybe the first 5-10 yards or so. Once we reach the point of our first turn, we're going to place a flag down or some sort of marking tool so we can return to the exact same spot. Now when we make our turn, we are going to make sure that we are turning so the dog's nose is going to be into the wind. At the point of the turn, we are going to make another scent pad and go back to those very small steps to grab our dog's attention. Then we're going to walk out about 5 to 10 yards and we're going to place another flag. Once we've placed our flag, we are going to turn around and walk straight back to our first flag. This is called triple laying the track. We are trying to give the dog every advantage we can to navigate this turn successfully. Once we've returned to our first flag, we are going to turn back around and then we're going to continue back to the second flag on the same line and then continue on to our end. The goal of laying the track this way is to create a lot of scent right at the turn to try and grab the dog's nose. Up until this point, we've been doing all straight lines, so most dogs tend to run by that first turn because they're so used to the track going straight. Once you've removed your shoes, you're going to want to exit a different way than you laid the track. We don't want to walk over the track we just laid. So we are going to take a quick pause here just for a quick second. We put a lot of time and effort into making these videos. We're trying to improve our skills. So if you're getting benefit out of this, if you're learning something, the easiest way you can show us that is by hitting that like button. And hey, if you think there's something we can do better, we'd still love to hear from you. We want to make better videos so people can get the most out of them. So if you have a suggestion for us or there's something you like or don't like, go ahead and leave us a comment so we can make better videos in the future. Now we're finally ready to get the dog out. Remember to stick to your pre-start rituals. We're going to go do our shot site inspection. Our track runs out towards those big pines, and then we did a right 90-degree turn over to the next big group of pines. We can now call our dog up to the start and introduce them to the shot site and get them sent off with our find it command. You are going to want to keep your feet planted in place until your dog commits to the track line. And Franklin does his little anxiety shake as he gets going on this track. Then he settles in and sticks his nose to the ground. He does pause for a moment to inspect this piece of garbage on the ground, but then gets moving along on his way. Now he does start this track off to the downwind side of it a couple yards. He recognizes that something's not right. His head pops up. He's lost the track. He's going to circle back around and re-find it. So he's worked his way back, that nose goes down, and he starts to try and find the track again. So Franklin's behavior here is notable. If you look, once he catches the track, he then swings out, he bounces back onto the track, swings back out again. He's actually working the downwind side of this track, so he's still picking up some scent, and he's waiting until that scent gets weaker so he can work his way back and find exactly where the track. So he actually overshoots the track here. He gets to the right side of the actual line now, and then he starts working his way back to the left. He's gonna overshoot this line again. We'll zoom in here on where the actual flag is. It's straight out from me. So right here, he's gonna take a hard left. This is exactly where the track line is. He only works it for a second, and then you'll see he starts picking his head up and picks his speed up. I think he actually caught some of the wind scent from the end of the track and was trying to sort it out that way, but he completely blows by this first turn, which is pretty common once you go from straight lines to doing turns. This is where your patience is going to come in. If your dog blows by the track, let them try to work it out for a minute. In the beginning stages here, we don't want to let them go too long, but do give them the opportunity to try and recognize and really start paying attention to your dog here to see how their behavior changes. So now I'm at the point where he's not recognizing it. So I stand fast and wait to see if he's going to recognize it. He does not. So then I'm going to go ahead and recall him. Now we're going to do a restart at the last place he actually had the line. We're going to do the restart the same as we start the other track. We're going to start with a sit stay, reintroduce them to the ground scent, and send them on their way. Again, Franklin is working this track a little on the downwind side. He's probably about 3 to 4 yards off the line, which causes him to miss this turn again. This is the very reason when we're starting teaching turns, why we lay the second leg so the wind is blowing in the dog's face. As you can see, once he goes by it, he'll catch some of that wind scent. He makes that hard turn and he's off to the races. Now, as soon as that dog's nose hits the target, we are giving those good boys, those attaboys, we're gonna run up to them and play with them, and then we're gonna go into our sit stay for our reward. Just remember, guys, if you did use any flags or markers, to go back and collect them before you go back to your vehicle. We don't want to leave any litter out in the woods. All right, let's move back inside and talk about our format for this week. Just remember, every track, the final leg of the track is going to be with the wind blowing in the dog's face. Pay attention to that wind. First track, the first leg is going to be 100 yards, and then we're going to do that 90-degree turn and only going to go about 40 yards. We really don't want to make it too challenging at this point for the dog. Now we're going to keep the same strategy, but we're going to increase the distance. So your second track for the week is going to be a 100-yard leg and a 100-yard leg. And again, our third leg, we're just simply going to increase the distance. We're going to get up to 200 yards and 200 yards for each leg. Fourth track, pay attention to this wind direction because we are going to add an additional leg to this track. It's going to be a 100-yard, a 100-yard, and a 40-yard. Then again, we're going to repeat this track just like we did the last ones, except increasing the distance. 100, 100, and 100, and then the following track is going to be 200, 200, and 200. Now it's going to be up to you to analyze your dog. If your dog is struggling on any of these turns, you can go ahead and bait the turn, and you may have to rerun this format of track over and over until your dog gets it. Guys, we appreciate you being here. If you have any questions, let us know. We'll try to address them in our next video, or we'll make a special video just to answer your question. We're also going to leave some links up. Also, if you are getting benefit from this page, hey, go ahead and subscribe. You'll get notifications when we put out a new video. We're also going to include in the description a link to our Amazon page. We just kind of put together a collaborative list of various things we use in the outdoors, whether it be for hunting, fishing, camping, or just items that we thought were kind of cool. Go ahead and check that out if you like, and we hope to see you in the next video.